Well, if you believe it or not, Rick has had some bad things happen to him in the first few chapters. Of course, he got chastised and left Degrassi after what he did to Terry. And then he came back to school in Mercy Street. Emma decides to take up the cause to try to force Rick out of Degrassi. They don't believe that Rick has changed and that Rick could be a danger to any woman he lays eyes on. Sadly, though, Emma put herself in a bad situation when she protected Rick from the beatings from Jay, Spinner, and Alex. So basically, everyone was just shocked that Emma would do something so stupid in their minds. But it was warranted. I mean, Emma did the right thing, believe it or not. And of course, this issue of abandoning Emma would be revisioned later on. But when you look at things, it's like Rick is now attracted to Emma. I think Rick was hoping that Emma basically would be his girlfriend. I mean, Rick wants to have Emma because Emma saved his life, and basically it brought Rick's obsessions to light. Emma is now on a lonely island, if you will. No Manny, no Liberty, no Paige in her clique. Basically, she's got only 3 friends. Basically, the scenes show that Toby and Rick are paired up together in a project. Emma is with Heather St. Clair. It's like Snake doesn't mention it, but they're all 4 of them are on the Wacky Brain team. It's kind of like we reach for the top if you're Canadian, or Quizball if you're American. So basically, what ends up happening is that those 2 geniuses pair up and they decide to do a kissing contest to kiss Emma. Emma gives them both a kiss for sympathy, and they're tied. One problem though: how are they going to break the tie? Simple. They're gonna mail it to Kissless. Any kiss, any girl, blah blah blah, for a set of role playing dice. It's kind of like a silly bet in a sense, but silliness is not at play when some people are just upset. Basically, what ends up happening is that Rick ends up getting humiliated 11-1 by Toby, as Toby will tell the score. But there's one tiny little problem, though. Toby actually paid someone $5 for a kiss. Now, why would Toby do that? I just don't know. I guess Toby thought a blowout victory is not worth it if someone doesn't have confidence and all that. Well, unfortunately for Toby, that will come out ahead later on. But anyway, Toby thought he was doing the right thing. Jay didn't. Jay said that basically Rick's going to stalk a Green Niner. And of course, rumors were circulating that Darcy was supposed to be Jay's sister. Really? Jay would have a Christian sister? Well, I guess Darcy doesn't really come off as being Christian and all that yet, but you never know. So yeah, like how Toby gets put in the locker by Jay, as you see in the next scene, is warranted in a sense. He's just out for protection. So I'm targeting not just Rick, but Toby. Basically, yeah, Rick is getting harassed and all that, which is fair game in a sense. But now Toby's part of the gang violence, if you will. So what ends up happening is that Rick is still being not talked up. It doesn't seem like he's getting hurt that much. I think they basically stopped the violence in a sense. I mean, poor Toby. I feel so bad for him because, he has to deal with the fact that his friend's now in deep trouble and all that. And now Toby's going to get hurt and all that. Jay, I know, is trying to be protectionistic, but for all the fucking wrong reasons. So as I said in the part 1, Rick hurt Terry and put her in a coma, and basically things happen for a reason. However, I must say that Rick got hurt, and as I said, that he was with Emma and all that. So basically, the Toby events actually lead to Time Stand Still, and believe you and me, it's not going to be pretty. I know this is a very short video compared to the other 2, but basically, the 3, sorry. But basically, I have to set apart what leads up to his downfall. Well, you knew it was going to come. The episode that was a game breaker, a game changer, a rump shaker, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Time stands still. You saw Rick going to school happy as can be, and then all of a sudden, Jimmy and Spinner just have to ruin it for him and put him in a dumpster. I know in several videos I said that it was Jay and Spinner. Well, I'm wrong. It was Jimmy and Spinner. I didn't think Jimmy was that evil. Shows how much I know. But, give credence to Jimmy's character, I guess. So, anyway, yeah, poor Rick. They just want to keep bullying him and make sure he gets the hint and leaves Degrassi once and for all. They haven't given up on trying to destroy Rick, despite the fact that Rick seems to be okay. But there are a lot of poignant scenes that I will be talking a lot about. So, that scene is that Rick goes to school. He finds the cars of his tormentors and decides to do the spray paint with the X on it. Now, seeing this, I actually screwed up because, I thought that when he was in the dumpster, he saw paint cans and decided to take them. And I'm like, well, if it was the next day, how come nobody suspected he had spray cans? But I'm wrong. Maybe Rick found some spray cans or bought some spray cans of paint and basically circle in the X, the Wakanda Forever sign before it was cool, in a sense. So it's critical to know that Rick, throughout season 4, has not retaliated at all. And basically, he thinks that if he retaliates now, then the bullies will probably stop. I mean, I get why he retaliated, because he was basically telling Spinner, Jay, Alex, and Jimmy the fact that practically you come after me, you're going down, and all that. Basically, how do you like it if the shoe was on the other foot? Well, unfortunately, it would lead to a lot more trouble. And although Rick had the right idea, it didn't work out for him. In the first scene, that basically Rick bumps into Jimmy, and basically Jimmy is asked questions by Mr. Simpson because they need a fourth for Wacky Brain, as Heather St. Clair, the famous unseen character, caught Mono. That was probably the best thing Heather St. Clair could have done. Well, anyway, so Emma wants to help the team out with flashcards. But of course, Rick understandably is pissed off because Jimmy's on the team and he says that he torments me. Toby says go to Simpson. I can't go to Simpson. I don't want to cause trouble. And then he knows he has a second idea, and that's to talk to Radish. So he does. Unfortunately, Radish comes off in this scene as basically being not willing to listen to Rick at all. Now, that's the major storyline. But you got to remember how Rick is describing Jimmy and how Rick didn't get to the point. That's also critical. I mean, he, just as much as Radish, fouled things up because he could have told Radish that Jimmy was bullying him. Bothering him and bullying him are two different things. By Rick not being straightforward and all that, basically Radish thought that Rick was just being petty about not having friends. So that's why Radish refused to help Rick. Blame the administration all you want, but Rick, by that scene, that critical scene, made a car spray painted. Sean basically says to get it to the shop in time. Basically, they don't know what happened, but Alex said it was Rick Murray. Now, here's the thing, though. Did Alex actually have circumstantial proof that it was Rick? Or basically, they were just trying to make trouble for Rick? Like, it wasn't clear if Alex officially knew or she was just trying to throw Rick under the bus. So basically, Jay wants to go to Radish because of the paint. Unfortunately, Sean tells him that basically if Jay went forward, Jay would have had to explain why Rick retaliated against them. And obviously that would incriminate Jay and the gang. They said, screw it, we have to figure something out. So Jay and Spinner decide to try to find Rick. And of course, they know Toby is Rick's friend, mostly because Jay was upset that Toby paid Darcy $5 to kiss Rick. So basically, Toby gets a fat lip and all that. And basically, Jimmy tells Rick to leave Toby out of this. But Rick basically gives a speech about how he's been suffering all these days. And basically, the fact that, I don't deserve this. And neither does Toby, because obviously he makes a point that Toby's going to get hurt too. I can't believe it, but it's true. And Jimmy starts to calm down. That is a very underrated scene. And I know I don't talk about it as much as I should, but it's critical to the storyline. People thought that the Joey losing his house storyline should not have belonged in Time Stand Still because it didn't lead to the purpose. But I disagree. Practically, that Craig was sick, stayed home. He tried to help Joey by talking to Sydney because she was a realtor. And basically, Joey gets mad, but Craig decides to go to school to get out of Joey's way, saying that I was trying to help you and all that, and I don't feel like hanging out around you. Joey has that concerned look on his face, and then when he talks to Sydney, basically he realizes that Craig was just trying to help, and he shouldn't feel so bad. Now you may be asking yourself, Craig going to school and all that. Was that a good idea? Well, no, because one, he was sick, and two, he would have the misfortune of seeing something that he didn't want to see. And whack your brain, and basically, the teammates are doing well. And then comes Spinner, Jay, and Alex, who basically push Rick, and then basically Jimmy says, "Stop it, because this is childish now." And they're all concerned, like, "What, Jimmy? You're supposed to be on our side." Well, it's not funny anymore. And then Rick does the stupid thing by flashing the Wakanda sign. Basically, now, the problem with that scene is that basically not only has Rick incurred the wrath of Spinner, Jay, and Alex again, he just flashed them the sign that basically meant that he did do the vandalism. So basically, it was confirmed. And then they get angry. But you can probably tell in their faces that they're miffed twofold. A, that Rick would get at them, and B, that Jimmy would actually switch sides and actually be a friend to Rick. Well, this could be trouble for their getting ready for his big performance by his mother. His dad is a traveling salesman, thus he's not there, and Rick is basically angry at his dad not being there. But his mom assures Rick that basically he doesn't want to leave town, Ricky, and all that. When you look at Rick's mom, it's like she's so blissfully ignorant and all that. It's like she defends her son. She might have a weird mother-son relationship. Who knows? So anyway, Toby comes by Rick's house and basically learns that Rick's mom basically begged him to go to another school, but Rick said, "You worry too much, Mom," and basically said that me and Toby are going to run the school. Why don't you talk about Emma? What about Jimmy? They'll help you. But then again, you never know about Rick and all that. And it does add the fact credence that Rick basically has been pretending that everything's fine, not telling his parents anything with the bullying. Basically, he's just trying to fit in. I mean, I get it. He wants to go back to Degrassi and take the whip and get the whip taken to him. But the fact of the matter is, Rick has to practically learn that he cannot do it alone. He needs help, and that could have helped him out. In the scene, Rick thanks Emma for helping out and basically saying that I need to be friends with Jimmy and need to help the team. So nothing bad there. And then of course, Jimmy talks to Rick and all that, which is great. And so they do the competition. The whole school is watching somehow. Even Raditch, who basically has a screen like onto his computer screen, and he smiles and all that. That smile could be twofold because basically he's happy that Degrassi's doing well, and he's also happy that maybe Jimmy and Rick are partnered up and there's no friction between the quizball team, and that basically Rick did the right thing, and maybe his talk with Rick actually made Rick realize he was the one who was supposed to help get friends. Whatever. So anyway, Jimmy misses an important question, and Rick pounces on it. We have a tie, and there will be a tiebreaker and all that. But to me, I think that the final round was going to happen no matter what. But maybe whoever was losing would have a bigger handicap, if you will. But anyway, the bathroom scene coming up next is in this one. Jimmy and Rick talk about how their lives are and all that. And then comes Spinner. Here comes Jay. Basically, they talk to Rick. Jimmy leaves the bathroom conveniently as Spinner and Jay decide to talk to Rick and basically say all these nice things and to basically say, we're cool, man. You're saving the school with your smarts. And Rick is happy. And he's said he should do the tiebreaker. Well, unfortunately, that was an easy setup. Basically, Rick's naive personality basically may have shot himself in the foot. So basically, Rick decides to do the tiebreaker because that's what he has to do for the school. Unfortunately, though, Spinner and Jay are ready to set up the paint and feathers. Spinner, of course, has his doubts, but Jay says that basically Alex will help him out. So the tiebreaker happens, and Nerf and Tech does decent. And then Rick's ready to try to beat that score. Unfortunately, Rick gets himself in trouble by saying, "This is for you." I know it's creepy, but it's true. So anyway, basically, Rick decides to, well, Rick wins the competition. The school's happy. What? Oh, he doesn't see paint and feathers come streaming down on him. He's toast. Everyone laughs at him. However, when he gets the trophy, Emma decides to comfort him, saying that Rick, what they did was wrong, and you're gonna walk away the hero. Don't let them get to you. And Rick, for some dumb reason, decides to kiss Emma. I think he was happy that Emma was willing to help him. Rick, what are you doing? And then basically, Rick thought that Emma wanted to have a relationship with him. A friendly relationship, not a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. And she pitied him. Get a clue. Rick looks forlorn. Look out. Could there be trouble? Hopefully not. Now for his parents. It's strange. It's like, did he not realize that his parents are gone? That they're both at work? That was weird. Nobody was there to help him support system. He went home, I guess, to change and all that. And then he finds the cupboard where his dad's gun is and basically stares at it. And obviously, after the end of part one, we're like, is he going to shoot himself? Or is he going to take the gun and he could still shoot himself at the school, a la Cole Tanner, or will he take the gun for vengeance? We can only hope for the best outcome. Haven't known already. Now it's time to stand still, part 2, and the fallout of Rick's bullying. Be warned, massive, 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 massive in-depth coverage will be shown here. Agree or disagree with my views? I don't care, but I'm just going to tell it. Shoot from the hip. Good idea. He said that he was ashamed of everybody. He was talking the right noises, and he probably admits to himself that he screwed up with Rick. Rick was right, but being bothered by Jimmy, although he never said bullying. So he wants answers, and that's what the administration is supposed to do: get answers, and basically tells the students that basically come to me with any information. I assure full confidentiality. JT basically says that basically now this will be the catalyst to let Rick leave Degrassi. You're still on that campaign, JT. Fuck. And I mean, he's picking on Toby. Sounds like something JT is hiding. So anyway, Spinner and Jimmy talk about the paint and feathers thing, and Spinner basically laughs it off, saying, "Oh, chicken boy, ha 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 ha, I'm a genius." It leads me to believe it's like, how the hell did Spinner decide to come clean about the whole thing? Basically, he plays it off like a joke and all that. He's laughing. He's like, this was the best thing we could have done to destroy Rick. Jimmy doesn't think so. Basically, he knows Spinner and the group are taking things too far, and now this is going to be too far along. Why the heck would Spinner just do something? See, as you saw, Rick basically targets Paige because he knows Paige was the one who started this whole anti-Rick rhetoric. So basically, he goes up to her. It's kind of strange how no staff members or students wanted to come near Rick and all that. To basically say, Rick, what's going on? You can leave and all that. But he goes right up to Paige. He's ready to put the gun to her. He slowly raises out of the backpack, but then he doesn't. Because Paige basically says that the whole thing was childish and stupid. She realizes that basically Rick deserved better, and Rick didn't deserve the level of bullying he was going to get. So basically Rick says, "I'm sorry for what I did to Terry," and all that. And, everything is cool in a sense. In the comparison, basically, I showed you Rick coming down in the bathroom when we see it first time, and then we know about Spinner saying Radish knows about Jimmy. Yeah, I'm surprised and all that. And of course, we'll see how Spinner and Jay set up the trap and all that. But I also added in the second part, said what should have been is basically Spinner and Jimmy bumping into Rick with his painted feathers. Spinner calling Chicken Boy, Raj throwing the book at Spinner, allegedly. And basically wants Rick to go home. Rick says, I gotta go to my locker, which he does, and then drops off his gun, and then basically Raj says, then just go home. And then Simpson said, is this all you're gonna do? You can't cause more harm if he's not here. Do you have a plan? Oh, really? You're saying that? Well, as far as I checked, this is not preschool, and this is not making friends is not part of the curriculum. It just basically goes to show that Raj completely has missed the point again. Basically saying that making friends is not part of the curriculum. That's just not about making friends. This is about something darker, deeper and darker, and Raj basically has fucked it over. But Raj, to his credit, does admit his mistake and all that. So basically now let's see if Rick actually, how Spinner and Jay trick Rick. Spinner is clueless to why Jay is blaming Jimmy for everything when in fact Spinner knows it was his plan. But buoyed by the fact that the sink had painted feathers in it and they saw Rick's legs under the stall. I don't know why Rick hid. That was kind of weird. I guess he didn't want someone to see him clean himself up. I don't know why. But anyway, Spinner then plays along with Jay, basically saying that Jimmy had messed everything up. And basically, they are on their merry way. Basically, that Rick has believed their bullshit. And Rick unfortunately did. Rick points the gun at Jimmy, shoots him, although he doesn't look at Jimmy when he shoots him. And basically, Craig sees Jimmy's prone body. See what I meant when I told you that the Craig thing, there was a reason towards it? There's your reason. He just saw Jimmy's body. If he stayed home from school, he would not have seen Jimmy on the ground. Students are running for their lives after hearing gunshot. But why did Emma, Toby, and Sean walk towards Rick? I guess they were like, what's going on? And then, all of a sudden, poof, here comes Rick. So basically, Rick ends up hating on Emma. She made his list. The kiss list, we kind of know, but maybe a hit list or something like that. Sean and Toby basically tried to calm him down. But as you can guess, Rick basically does not want anything to do with it. He said that you toyed with my emotions, Emma. He's still mad. He's mad at Emma. And basically he finds Emma and he still has the gun. And he's like, well, I'm going to get revenge for what you did to me. Sean basically tells Rick that everything will be okay. They'll find something out. Now, Sean, like most police officers, is trying to calm the suspect down, saying that most people with a gun, they don't want to shoot people. They just want answers. And Rick basically says, it's too late. I already shot somebody. Goodbye, Emma. And then Sean decides to leap out and go after Rick. Gunshot. We don't know what happens. It's amazing that Toby didn't do anything about it, because would Rick have listened to Toby? I think he would have. I think Toby could have been the sensible one and to calm him down. But I guess Toby was a little bit chicken. But maybe it was for the best. Basically, Toby talks to the guy, the investigator, and basically Toby doesn't know how to feel and all that. And then, of course, Emma is confronted by Spike and Snake in the media room. And then Raj opens up the door and wants answers. Something about emails. Basically, Snake agrees, but he also lashes out at Raj for his policy. It's that basically, where was his hindsight beforehand? Why now? And all that. Basically, he has a right to get angry over the fact that Raj may have screwed up. Raj basically says that I have 700 students. How was I supposed to know one student had a gun and was going to overreact to some paint? You didn't listen to him. How many times did he come to you? Because I know he came to you a couple times. And Raj basically says, I know what he said to me. I bet you don't remember. damn it, this could have been averted. And then basically, Spike says that they shouldn't be fighting in front of Emma. Emma's already traumatized. So they both agree to put the fight on hold and basically try to help Emma out. Now, I'm thinking that the police told Raditch about the emails, and Raditch basically said that the police wanted to know about the emails. I think Simpson would have done it more for the police than Raditch. And I can't blame Simpson for being mad because when you look at Simpson being mad, it was like, my stepdaughter nearly died. If she got shot, then bad things would have happened. And the fact of the matter is, Raj would have been in bigger trouble than he already is in, because his inattentiveness, his inattentiveness basically cost Emma her life. And Simpson would have went apeshit on Raj, and Raj probably would have had to deal with the fact that Simpson wants Raj to pay for it. Raj would probably have tried to avoid things, but well, you couldn't avoid that. I mean, Snake cares about Emma. So of course, Emma, Snake, and Spike go to the Kerwins and basically talk about the news reports and all of that. And practically that, you know, what are we going to do about this? This should not happen at a school and all that. And Snake admits some credibility, takes some responsibility, saying that basically we screwed up. We failed Rick. We should have taken it more seriously. And all that. And Toby's conflicted what to happen because, his best friend got shot and he had a gun too. And he had a gun. What can Toby do? So basically, this is like, it's a puzzle. What are you going to do? What can you do? How will you handle this? How will Degrassi pop up from this mess? Well, the aftermath is very shocking and very shocking indeed.